welcome back to Sports Khabri with me, Adi and Rishi, and we're here for this Euro preview. It's a small one, but we'll just quickly tell you what the qualification scenario is before we dive into discussing the groups in detail. So first off, you've got six groups of four teams, and the top two from each group go through. But you also have the top four best teams, best third place teams going through as well. So then you've got the round of 16, and then it's a normal knockout till the final. So that's that, and we're going to dive into Group One directly. Group A, Rishi, is Germany, Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland. I think it's a very interesting group with probably hosts Germany as the favorites. What do you make of this group?
I feel this group has a mixture of everything. You have Germany, who you would expect to be the clear cut favorites in this group to go through straight up, and although they have their little bit here and there, they don't have, I'd say, a world class CDM. You can say Cruz will play there, but it's not going to be like a CDM, and their centre backs are a little bit off. Overall, they have a very strong squad with big names, having all of them having very good club tournaments throughout the season. So I feel Germany pretty much go through unless any major hiccups happen. And then you come to a Switzerland side who I feel have been delivering so much beyond their expectations, beyond anyone's expectations for consistently for a long while. But I feel after this, I feel this is a while where the age is going to catch up. Players are maybe, except for one or two players, others are not on top of their game. They're all just beyond their peaks. You see the players like Xherdan Shaqiri he's in MLS. You have Freuler, you have Xhaka. Xhaka is still firing, you can say, but you have players who are not on top of their games for their clubs. You can say they have a few like Manuel Akanji, like Zeki Amdouni, who are new, but I wouldn't like. I feel they're a bit lackluster at this phase of their international, stage. So this is a team that is just going beyond their peak.
Yeah.
And
First of all, you're taking
huh?
shots at my team. Not at
Yeah,
all
I know.
peak.
Raj, you should realize that I too really loved it when Switzerland kept slaying the giants and kept going through. So I was a big fan of that. And if they can go through, nothing would make me happier. I would very much love Switzerland to go through. It's just that I feel right now all of them are just beyond their peaks. Like you see Ricardo Rodriguez, you see your Steven Zubers, your
Yeah.
Xherdan Shakiris. I feel they're just, and they don't even have Embolo. Embolo's injured, so I don't know. Amdouni is going to lead the line, and it just looks a little bit lackluster from that point of view. And then you have your Scotland, who I feel are the underdogs in this group, and I feel are going to do really well in this group. I think they qualified as second from this group. They
Bro, that's
have
so
fairly
sad.
good
That is
players.
so sad.
They have good players, and they've all I feel that players often show up at international stage. Of course, they haven't been recently that great, but I still feel their players, more often than not, even the players who are not great for their clubs, like you'd see Kieran Tierney, you'd see Scott McTominay, even they might not be starting, or they might not be doing that great for their club, but they often come and put in a real shift when it comes to the national team. They always deliver when it comes to the national team. Plus, they have players like Ryan Christie, Shea Adams. So I feel they just about go through. And yeah, I feel these two go through, bro.
Bro, that's so sad because I think Switzerland have always done well. I think they qualified last Euro and they qualified for the round of 16 in the World Cup. So I think it's a team that always does well. You'll get consistency with Switzerland as far as their performances are concerned. I don't think they're the best team, sort of creativity wise. They're a little boring to watch sometimes. I agree. I think having watched so much of Switzerland because I support them, like it's a little hard to watch them at times. But I think they've got enough to get out of this group for sure, at least for me. But yeah, you've got Hungary and Scotland as well. Hungary led by Dominic Szoboszlai, and yeah, they're another side that could provide an upset on their given days. Same with Scotland, I think. But yeah, for me, those two go through. We'll move on to Group B, Adi. It's a very interesting group. You've got three heavyweights: Spain, Croatia, and Italy, and then you've got Albania, who are also not too bad. What do you think this group? A lot of people are calling it the group of death here in the Euros. You think this is the toughest group?
Yes, that's the thing. You look at the teams, the top three teams, you would say this would be the toughest group in terms of quality. But one thing for me in this Euros is like all the national teams are very new. Like the entire unit that's coming into this Euros are very young. Most of the squads are not the same old squads where you had, your old teams which was very set. You would add one or two additions. You look at any team right now. You look at Spain also. There are a lot of youngsters. I look at Italy. There are a
Yeah.
lot of youngsters since what we saw in the last Euros, because last year we had a centre back partnership of Bonucci and Chiellini. That
Yeah.
itself has gone, right, and a lot of difference from last time. Last time Locatelli was playing in the Euros. Now he's not even in the squad. So
Spinazzola's not there, if I'm not wrong.
exactly,
They're
yeah, but
also
the
without
entire
Cherby this time. So yeah, they've lost
so the
a
entire yeah, entire squad has been a bit, changed from what it is. I think Croatia is still the only team that has a pretty much regular lineup from what they've had previously. So it's going to be
Hmm.
interesting. It's going to be tough for me to call because even if I want to talk about Spain, Spain compared to how they did in the World Cup to the team they have now, it's totally different. You have two, three young players coming into the squad, playing for them. And for example, you still have the same. I think the midfield three will be the same, in terms of Zubin, I mean, Rodri, Pedri, and Fabian Ruiz. But then I look at the defense again, the very new players playing, and then I look at their attack. You have players like Yamin Lamal and Morata, maybe the only attacker who's been recognized and been playing for a
yeah.
long time. So it's going to be a very tough group. It'll be interesting because I feel like all these guys are young. Maybe there's going to be a bit of change. Like I don't think Italy, you would come into Italy and say, okay, they're going to be very defensive, very strict the way they play, but I feel like they're going to be able to dominate position also. And all these
Okay.
teams, the problem is these three teams, even though in names you would say Spain, would go through easily, and maybe Italy will go through easily, but like I still think it's going to be very tough for them. The entire group. You might find upsets from this group, from my perspective, because again they're very young unit, very new side, but maybe Spain go through a bit more easily, and then again we have three. Maybe you have the three teams going from this group, but it's going to be very spicy in the matchups and each game.
Yeah, I agree. I think Spain go through because just of the pure quality that they have. Even the youngsters coming through are very talented. I think the Spanish team. Um, And then you've also got Albania in there, led by Armando Broja. Of course, he'll be the guy who has to score the goals for them. It's not going to be easy for him. And yeah, that's that with Albania. I think it's a pretty simple story. If they can sort of produce an upset, it'll be great. But I just don't know if that'll happen. And you've got Croatia. You know what to expect from Croatia. I think, like Adi said, I think Spain go through quite comfortably, and it's Italy, Italy or Croatia.
I still would put Croatia to go through. I just think they're a bit more talented.
Yeah.
They recently beat Portugal also in a friendly. And overall, I think they just have. See, for me, it's more of defensive units. And I feel like when you go to a tournament, you have to always have a set defense. And I feel like a team like Croatia always have a set defense. And I don't think Italy has that right now in their young squad. And same thing with their midfield and attacking. They're missing a lot of players from what they played previously. Again, the likes of their centre back partnership with Bonucci, Chiellini, even Locatelli there in the midfield. They don't have a proper striker also, so I just feel like with the experience they have and the quality, Croatia will go through at least in second place, so in the top two.
Correct. Fair, fair. I agree. I think same thing. Same. I would go Croatia as well. Especially Group C is another interesting one, especially for second place. I think Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. I think it's another one that's hard to call. But yeah, what do you think about the group?
I think England. Let's be real. None of us want England to go through. We're not the biggest of England supporters, but you can't help it,
Yeah.
bro. I don't like England, bro. Especially,
No, even I don't like
especially
England. I don't know what it is about. I don't know why, but I just don't like England. I've never
like
liked England.
exactly like there's just something about them, and I don't know. Even maybe Southgate, his
Bro, I
choices
think
of
it's just an
players,
England,
whatever.
dude. It's an England
But
thing. Even cricket, I'm like, wow. Like if they mess up, it's great. It's just a lot of fun.
bro, cricket right
But
now it's not so much as football. Like cricket, you have them. It's openly they having that entitled feeling. Them being like them
yeah,
being arrogant, like outright arrogant and entitled. Like this England team is not even that. Like I can't put to words what it is about the England team, and you can't. I don't know. I can't find any logical sense because this England team has been performing well. Also, they've reached the Euro finals. They've got to the World Cup semis also. So I don't know. I just don't like, and maybe it has something to do with Southgate dropping Rashford and not taking him. Also, I don't know. But long before that, I've never been a fan of England or Southgate. But yeah, let's be real. They're pretty much going through. They have just
Yeah.
too much quality. I feel. Although
Hmm.
they've misfired in the friendlies, I feel their players will come. As much as I don't want to admit it, I feel they'll still come clutch and they'll manage to go through. And for second place, I feel Denmark just about see the job. They just about qualify because
Oh, okay.
they have quite a few players who've been doing relatively well for their clubs, and players who also consistently show up for the national team as well. You see, Eriksen's not been playing consistently for United, but he comes in and he always plays well for Denmark. He even scored some brilliant goal last week. And
Yeah.
I feel even the defenders, I feel they have a very balanced squad overall. Like you have pretty good defenders, you have midfield. They look sort of balanced, at least compared to the other two teams. So I feel it'll be a competition between Denmark and Serbia for the second and third place, but I feel Denmark just about go through.
Same. I think I agree. I think it'll be a little hard for Serbia, although they have got the talent. They've got Dusan Vlahovic, Mitrovic leading the line, Milinkovic Savic in the middle. Names that you've probably heard of from Serbia at least. But yeah, I think Denmark, the quality, of course, Christian Eriksen, big moment for him to come back to this Euro after what happened to him last time, the cardiac arrest and stuff like that. So yeah, great for him as well to be coming back and playing this tournament. But yeah, I agree. I think Denmark and England should go through. Adi Group D, Poland, Netherlands, Austria, and France. It's even I don't know. Actually, most of these groups are quite hard to call now. I'm just realizing that now. But yeah, what do you think this group?
Dude, I think this is the easiest group in terms of names. I don't think it's going to be tough for us. I
Yeah,
think Netherlands go easily because it's the only group where I think Netherlands, France have a very strong unit in terms of their team. Maybe Austria can have a
Austria
good
missing
shout.
Alaba though.
Yeah, but like they've still been in form. I mean, they've been missing Alaba this entire season. But you look at their, I think Austria have been on an unbeaten run, if I'm not wrong, around 13 games. So it's not something new. They've beaten, in their run up to the Euros, they've beaten teams like Turkey, Slovakia, Serbia. They beat even Germany, in the qualifiers. So it's not something new for them. They've won a lot of games recently, and they missed Alaba for a long time because he got injured, last year itself.
Yeah, yeah,
So coming to this, the thing is going to be like, I think, Austria can put in a good fight. Maybe sneak in through from the other spot, but I still think Netherlands and France are going to go through because, firstly, when I look at France, I mean, they're the only team that's consistently had the same unit in terms of team. And, now N'Golo Kante is also back into the team. You have the same attackers who played in the World Cup, their World Cup winning side,
yeah,
Giroud, Griezmann, Mbappe. They have a very strong, relationship. Yeah, you can add in the likes of Dembele, Barcola, Coman. You have a very good attacking unit in terms of that. One thing is that they have the stability. They know what side they are. They've had the same manager for a very long time, so it's going to be very easy for them to go through. Only concern in terms of France is maybe the centre back partnership. With Konate, Upamecano coming in as the main centre backs. What the media is reporting, that's something I would look at during the run-in of the tournament. Because over the years, where whenever you look at France, they've always had a very strong defensive unit and partnerships. Varane's now been playing for France. I think he's retired, if I'm not wrong. So in
yeah.
that,
He's done. He's
Yeah,
retired.
yeah, so you already lose Varane there, and then also Lucas Hernandez is gone out. He's not through
Yeah, Lucas
so
Hernandez.
they don't have many experienced players there. So that's something I would look at. But apart from that, I still think they're a very strong unit. And then again,
Yeah, maybe.
Netherlands, unlucky, they're losing two of their main midfielders in terms of Frankie de Jong, also Koop Meiners,
minus.
who's been in great form. But I think looking at that entire team's talent, I mean, you can say that they're not the greatest managers there, with Ronald Koeman always had issues wherever he's gone as in his club manager or with the nation itself had a very bad uh, few games. But looking at the quality, I just think they have a very good quality. I actually find them a pretty exciting side. They have some players I
Mm.
really like around. Players like Javi Simon and in that side. So that's something I actually like. They also have Xerxes, which is not a pure striker, but is a guy who I like if I put in my terms of style of play. So in terms of that, they have very young talent again. You don't have old players if you want to see. They are very young talent. Maybe Depay, Van Dijk can be the oldest team players in the team. Vegas also and
You have Wijnaldum also there.
De Jong.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wijnaldum also, but honestly, I can't talk about Wijnaldum. I haven't seen him play over the past 2 3 years, so I can't really talk about Wijnaldum like that, to be fair. But from what I've seen, they've always had a good squad, especially in the kids who have been playing well in the Euros. So I would want to push, Netherlands through this group, especially because just like the way they play. And yeah, let's see. I mean, when it comes to
Ali,
Poland, they had
uh,
a
so
very
see,
disgusting World Cup when I saw them play. So like, I really can't look at Poland and ask them to even like. I wouldn't even want them to go through because the style of play they played in the World Cup was pretty bad, and the team itself is not that like, inspiring. If I had to put it to that way.
Ali, but do you feel Xavi Simons and Joshua Zirkzee will start in the Euros?
I don't think Xerxes will start. They have already Vergost, Depay, and Luke De Jong, if I'm not wrong. So I don't think in
No,
terms of striking,
they don't have Luke De Jong, by the way. They have
yeah, they
Cody
don't have
Gakpo.
Luke De
Hakpo,
Jong, but
Hakpo,
yeah,
Hakpo
they have,
will start.
See, okay,
but they
but
have Depay.
tell
I still
me
think Depay
from
is.
from the bunch of forwards that they have, you take out Joshua Zirkzee, you take out Xavi Simons, and you can say to an extent Donny Mallon. Who else has been firing well this season? Like you have, I'll just mention the names: Bergwijn, Steven Bergwijn, Brian Brobby, Memphis Depay, Frimpong, who's pretty much is going to play as a winger or a wing back depending on their system. Cody Hakpo, Daniel Mallon, Xavi Simons, Wout Weghorst, and Joshua Zirkzee. Like I would want Javi Simmons and Joshua Zirkzee to start, but I let's be real, they both of them are not starting together. So this attack, except for them and not including Jeremy Frimpong, they're not as convincing. Like
Not really. If you want me to talk about the last 5 games of Netherlands, I think they have three 4-0 wins with the same players you mentioned. They recently beat Canada 4-0. They also beat Iceland 4-0. Coming into the run, and they've scored a lot of goals. I mean, they also beat Scotland 4-0, last month in in the qualifiers, right? So in terms of goals, I don't think they're going to lack. I look at the pie. We can always take the same player. You see us player playing for the club. You see the player playing for or club
the
football.
national.
It's two different systems, two different environments. For example, we can take in Foden, like he played well for City, but put the same Foden in the England setup, he doesn't look. That's how it works, right? We talk about, for example, Vinny also, like one of the best players in the world right now. But when you put him in the Brazil national team, he's only had three international goals. So I always believe that the form of international football and club football are not the same because in international football you have slower games happening. The games are different paced. It's a different environment. So I never taken club form towards this thing. And they have talent. I still think that they have players like Depay, who's very reliant and always performs, for the national side. And I also think Marlon's a good addition. Gakpo, I don't think they won't score goals. I don't think that's their issue in terms of goals. Like for me, it's just that maybe midfield holding the ball because of losing De Jong, Koopmeiners, that's
Yeah.
going to be a bigger thing for me. But let's see how they go. I just like this team. They seem exciting, so yeah, I would love them to go through.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Okay, we go to Group E then. I think Netherlands, France are the overwhelming favorites. Here also, I think this is an easy group to call as well. Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine, Rishi.
See, unless anything unforeseen happens, Belgium are pretty much going through. They don't have, they're missing Thibaut Courtois, but I still feel they have decent enough keepers. Castiles, they have Kaminski, who's had a brilliant season for Luton, is also part of them, and they have enough big names. Say in every aspect, like even the defenders, they have Castagna, Vertonghen. Of course, they're missing a few experienced players over the years who've performed for them, but I still feel they have at least enough squad depth and quality to see the group stages at least, considering their opponents. So Belgium is a straight up option, and then you
Yeah.
have the likes of Slovakia, and I feel Ukraine are
Ukraine.
the next. Yeah,
Yeah, they're pretty much, I think, favorites after that.
yeah. I
But
think it's between Slovakia and Ukraine, and I don't know how much you can differentiate between the two. Maybe you can say Ukraine can go through, like strictly going off players who've been better in club football, I would say Jay just about edged through.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a little dull group to call, but yeah, Ukraine and Belgium. I think the final one is Turkey, Georgia, Portugal, and Czech Republic.
I
This one
mean,
was a
yeah, I
bit
think this is going to be the
yeah,
easiest group for
easiest
us,
one to call.
in terms of. I think see, the thing is, Portugal go through. Because we know their talent.
Portugal go through
There's
because
nothing.
Ronaldo is there. Yes,
Sorry.
I said Portugal go
What?
through because Ronaldo is there.
I mean, not just because of him. I think even if Ronaldo was not there, you would expect them to go through this group because it's a very
100%.
underwhelming group, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't think there are other teams that can, challenge them in terms of wins, etc. Right? But apart from that, I think Turkey is another team that's talented in terms of their own national squad. The
yeah,
players they have, Chanalu, Özkan, Koku, they have who else? They have Guler, etc. So they have a
yeah,
pretty decent team. If you ask me, I would put them, the top two for this group to go through. I
100%.
don't think Georgia. I'm not even sure apart from who their players are apart from
They
Marcus.
didn't come through qualifying. They played the playoff and got through. So they
Playoffs.
didn't.
I know. Yeah, but that's my point. Like, I actually am not sure about their entire squad. I haven't watched anything from them, and I can't. If I just have to put based on quality, I would push Turkey through. But the thing is, you never know. You might end up getting a third place team from this group because of the nature of the group itself. Maybe you get a draw and a win from one or two teams, and you can push a third team from this. That's gonna be maybe how it works. So let's see how this group cooks. But again, I can't say much apart from Portugal.
I think Portugal will stay for. I think Turkey also. I think they've got some brilliant talent now. Kenan Yildiz is one more, and they've got Cheng
But
Touz
the
is
thing
there.
is, Turkey,
They've had the
Turkey
quality.
always has the
bro, they
always been
have
called the dark horses. Like even
Yeah,
last World Cup,
I
every
swear they
time they get the dark horses, tagline,
tags.
and
Yeah,
they've dropped horrible performances over the
yeah,
recent past.
only Rishi called Turkey dark horses last year, no one else. But they have a
yeah.
good side. But the problem is Turkey are a very erratic side. They're also like, I wouldn't, want to talk some draw parallels, but like they're like Pakistan in cricket, like they might have a good squad, but they suddenly don't perform in the big stages. So that's why I'm very like I wouldn't even be surprised if like Georgia win by because the tournament game, like you just have one or two games to win for you. Like it's gonna be very close. So even I'm just putting it based on okay, Turkey is the better team apart from like what Turkey and Slovakia. I don't know who play consistently. So that's the reason I would rather just say Turkey. But
Yep,
they're
yep.
also a team which is very capable of somehow missing out, and you might have a fairy tale like Georgia, like how we had in 2018 where we saw Iceland make a mad run. So you never know.
Guys, just saying there's Czech Republic also in this group. They have
Yeah.
quite a few players like your Mati Kovar, Vladimir Sufal, Thomas Suchek,
Mm, mm.
Adam Losek, Patrick Schick. So they're not they're not entirely depraved of
Bro,
talent. They have
bro,
quite a
bro, they're
few
very like
players.
Poland to me. They're very flat. Like it's just a very
Mm.
flat side.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. But I feel they can. I feel they can give at least Turkey a run for their money in terms of. And I feel
Mm.
this can be one of the groups where a third place team goes through.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, that's that, guys. Thanks for joining me, Rishi and Adi, for this Euro preview. And everybody watching, please do like and share the video, subscribe to Sports Kabri, and we'll have more Euro content as the tournament progresses.